Hey you guys, what's up? It's your girl Cree. Welcome back to my channel. I hope all of you guys are doing well. I'm doing pretty good myself. I just wanted to come and chit chat it up with you guys regarding this upcoming no buy, or actually this no buy is already on. So hopefully you guys have started, because I have. The last fragrance that I went ahead and purchased was on May 2nd. I picked up some Bath and Body Works, which I'll be recording next, so be sure to check out that video if you haven't already. It will already be up by the time you get this. Also purchased the Kayali Candy Rock Sugar. I wanted to come to you guys and just have a quick little discussion about this whole thing, this building of a collection, and how I even got to this point. So first things first, if you guys aren't aware, I just want to give you some background. I first started my channel probably 3 years ago or so, and at that time my channel was supposed to focus on hair and beauty. So I was going to do like wig reviews and hair reviews and how to do your hair on your own, and try on hauls as well. I actually wanted to do plus size try on hauls.
Enjoyed this tutorial. If you made it to the end, I have a little treat. I'm going to give you all a quick review of my outfit for the day. I'll be featuring this 2-piece set I got from Fashion Nova, and I may have a haul coming out in a few weeks. Here's a little sneak peek of the pieces that I purchased. The jumpsuit fits my body like a glove. I know you all see the way it hugs the curves. I do not feel restricted in this whatsoever. It's so extremely sexy and comfortable. So if any of you ladies have been eyeing this set, I recommend that you go out and get it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the content as much as I enjoyed creating it.
All of which I still plan to incorporate on my channel at some point, but somewhere along the line I leaned into fragrance. And for me, I think that came about because I started to want to build my collection. Now, I'm not gonna say I wanted a huge collection. I think I probably could have stopped around, I think a good 20-25 would have been solid for me. As a matter of fact, I think that is even more than the average person would have, which I'm okay with that. I didn't really care about what the average person had, but I definitely could have stopped there. I want you guys to know where I'm getting to with this. The purpose of my no buy is to restrict my spending and to get it focused into a certain place. So just to know a little bit more about me, I used to be a freelance makeup artist. I always had a full-time job. I used to do that as a side hustle, and honestly just something else that I really enjoyed to do. There was a time when I was very heavily into makeup, just like a lot of the people that were on YouTube at the time. You know, makeup was all the rage at some point, and then at some point kind of fell by the wayside. A lot of the YouTubers that used to do makeup kind of fell off, or they just stopped posting and stopped doing YouTube. Along with the hair, you know, natural hair kind of came into. I did a big chop at some point and then decided to grow my hair back out. So there were so many avenues I wanted to tap into, and I've always been into fashion. Not the biggest fashion guru, but I can dress and I can put it on, you know, if I want to. And I always wanted to, you know, just give try on hauls and give perspective for women that were like my size, that were looking for things to wear. And I would always be searching the internet looking for like clothes. You know, when it comes to makeup, I'm looking for somebody my skin tone complexion to verify what shade I should get in certain foundations. And when it comes to clothes, I'm like, man, I wonder if those jeans are going to fit me from Fashion Nova, because I wear whatever size, and I want to see if this girl, she has hips and butt and whatever else she has like me. I wanted to see someone that looked like me doing that. And so I really wanted to be the face of what I had been looking for. So I say all that to say how we ended up in fragrance. When I was doing makeup artistry, I found myself at a place, once I decided to fall back from that, which is when I had my son, or probably just before I had my son, I decided to step away from that because it just wasn't fun for me anymore. Anybody out there who does things for fun and then you start getting paid for it, or becomes a job, it stops being fun for you. And that's kind of where I was with that. It had been several years, and so I tapped into something else. And I think somewhere along the lines of me having a son, and you know how those things go, you become a mom. I'm a first-time mom. I'm in my 30s, and I literally just put myself on the back burner. I really did, for a long time. So I wasn't doing makeup. You already know, anybody who's a mom out there, with no matter how old your child is now, you know, when you first have a child, it's not about you. it's never about you, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I had to like slowly put myself back in the mind of even getting dressed and wanting to put a face on. I never put on makeup at that time anymore. I had just really given up, not on myself, like I still took care of myself, like going to the doctor and in theory, and but I wasn't doing anything for myself. Previously, when I was into makeup, and especially with doing makeup for other people, I had so much makeup, y'all. So the way that it is for fragrance now, where people buy whatever's new, what's hot, what's out, you get it right away, I was the same way with makeup. I mean, heavily, y'all. The brushes, the foundations, the eyeshadow palettes, I had it all, to the point where I condensed and decided to get my collection down to something very, very small. In my opinion, I probably still have more than the average person, but again, I was a makeup artist before, so I still have some things. I still have more foundations probably than the average person, about 6 or 7. That's still more than most people. Most people have 1 or 2, I would think. So yeah, I say all that to say, I found that when I get into something or I'm into something, I go full force head on into it and I go all out. I did the same thing with clothing, where I finally got into clothes and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do try on hauls one day for YouTube. So I buy all of these things, and it got to a point now, y'all, it's still like this today, where I have so many clothes that I never have worn. They still have tags on them. Like, I would just buy in excess, and I would buy for what I felt like I was going to need it for. You know how they tell you to, think as if you already are. So like, I'm going to be a rich woman one day. I want to buy a wardrobe for a rich woman. Well, you're not a rich woman now. You don't go to bars now. I would buy things like for going out, y'all. I don't even go out. Like, why are you buying things for going out? I never go out. I've never been that type. Very rare. You want to buy for the type of person that you are, whether that be clothes, whether that be makeup, and then whether it be fragrance. So that is how I'm going to tie this into fragrance, if you guys are wondering where that's coming from. I'm tying this in because when it came to fragrance, like, I wanted to start a collection. I had already tapped into clothes, which I'm about to get back into that. But at the time, I was cool on clothes. I had what I needed, I felt like, and I had everything with makeup. But I'm like, you know what? What about my fragrance game? It's lacking. So I decided, I said, I'm going to build my collection. So I started getting into YouTube and didn't even know that there was this whole community of fragrance. I promise you, this was like an untapped community. Like it's like YouTube's best kept secret. I didn't know about it, right? Slowly but surely, I dive in and I'm buying everything, y'all. I'm buying things because they said it's great and they say it's this. And it was the worst thing I could have did. The worst thing you can do is go into things blindly, like having no research done about it. You have not done the work yourself to figure out what it is that you like and what you want. So I did write down a few pointers, and I really just want to talk with you guys. So if you guys don't like an extensive video, you do not have to watch this. I don't need no negativity on this video. It's unnecessary completely. This is for who it's for. I just want to help someone and try to prevent people from falling into those same pitfalls that I've fallen into, admittedly, and just save you some time, some money, some energy, and the headache of it all, right? So let's get into it. This is geared towards people who are watching YouTube videos, and those of you who either are on this no buy or you are just looking to start a collection. These are pointers and things I would say that you should look out for and that you would want to do before you go out on this journey blindly. So number 1, and y'all, I really haven't numbered these, but I'm going to try to stay on target, kind of make it make sense going from step 1, 2 to 3. If it's out of line, just try to connect it all. I'm kind of just, I got a few notes, but I really didn't strategically write out this video. So I just wanted to get it out and let it flow naturally. Sometimes when you're going from notes, it doesn't seem organic. So I just wanted to come to you guys real and raw. So first thing that I wanted to highlight is that when you are starting a collection, understand this costs money. This can be a pretty expensive hobby. I guess I knew that, but I didn't know that. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's like I knew, but I didn't know. When you first get into this, and you could even be looking into just affordable fragrances, and I get that, and I did that. However, understand that number one, you want quality over quantity, right? So if you're getting 10 different fragrances that are all cheapies or all inexpensive, or let's say they're all $50 or less, or less than 50, right? They could all be $20. Well, you're still spending upwards of $100. So it doesn't matter that they were all cheap. You could have got one quality fragrance for the price that you got all of these, when you know you like that one fragrance, but these others you're blind buying, you know? So, and I'll get to that in another one, but I'm just starting out to say, understand that this is an expensive hobby and it is going to cost you. It's going to cost you in the front or in the back, one way or another. So you don't want to get into the habit of getting what you can't afford to get. You start charging and you got Sephora credit cards and Ulta credit cards. I'm not trying to get too deep in on y'all. I'm just telling you what I know because I've been there and I've done it. I'm not judging. And I haven't done this with fragrance, but I used to do it with makeup. And it was a slippery slope even then. And I justified it. Like, just like you can justify it like, oh, I'm a YouTuber, that's why I get all of this. You don't have to get all of this, y'all. But I'm just saying, I did that as a makeup artist. Like, oh, no, I need all this makeup because I do makeup on people. So that's why I have it out. I justified it. And, you know, try to find out before you get into this, what is the real reason you're doing what you're doing? What is the purpose? What is your goal? Write it out. Number two, my next pointer would be, if you already made the decision that you are going to build your fragrances, build a collection, you want a collection, that's fine. Figure out what it is that you like. You need to go test out fragrances. Most times when you come into this, or at least speaking for me personally, I did not know what I liked. I thought I knew what I liked, and I might have knew a fragrance or two that I did like, but you're not prepared for what you get into when you get into this fragrance community, and realizing how deep it goes with notes and scent profiles and gourmands and freshies and florals. A lot of this is like foreign knowledge. You have no idea what scent categories speak to you. You don't even know what you like. So that can save you a lot of trouble later if you just go out and test fragrances, which is my next point. Definitely just figure out what you like. Go to Sephora, Ulta, and just get an idea of the type of scents that you like. Then you can go and do your research. They do have sites like Fragrantica, but that's not always as accurate. But even the actual website of wherever you get it from, like if it's Valentino, Valentino has a website. If it's Clean Reserve, Clean Reserve has a website. You can go directly to those websites and find out what those notes are. Now, I'll say most people that are not on YouTube have no idea about notes. Like, that's something that was new to me, learning from the fragrance community and then doing my own research. So scent notes obviously are notes that make up the body of the fragrance. So what's in there, what makes up this scent profile. Not necessarily meaning that you're going to pick up everything that you see, but you may just want to get accustomed to those. For the ones that you like, you may want to know what's in those and what you'll find as a common theme of scent notes that you like in fragrances, so you'll know how to look for what you like and what you may want to steer clear from. Let's get into blind buying. You guys, one of the best tips I can give you is not to blind buy. Don't even start the habit. Yeah, you could win. You could win a lot. Like, some people always hit and it's like, oh, my favorite girly on YouTube told me it was great and I love it. But y'all, first of all, you don't know these people. You don't know me, I don't know you. Let's be honest, right? You don't know these people. So we don't really know their scent preferences. We don't know what they smell like in real life. We don't know what they look like in real life. So take what they say and what I say, take it with a grain of salt. You have to go out and do your due diligence. My recommendation would be to test out fragrances. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, and I really don't even know if they still do it, but I would assume that they do. Years ago, before I ever got into building my fragrance collection, I used to go to Sephora with a friend of mine after work, and we would test out fragrances. I think it was 3 or 4 samples of them. So you can do that, y'all. If they still have that option, I'm pretty sure they do. At Sephora, you could get samples just like you can do of makeup, if you guys don't know that, and test it out and see how it meshes with your body chemistry, which will be my next point. You guys, body chemistry plays a part in how a fragrance is worn on you. You need to know what you're looking for. Do you like beast mode fragrances? Do you like more skin scents? And you will only know how a fragrance is going to be on you, or what notes you will pick up, by testing it out. So if at all possible, I recommend that you don't blind buy and that you would test it out, especially if you're spending an enormous amount of money. 75 and up, in my opinion. But even beyond that, y'all, you just don't want to get in the habit, because you'll find yourself with a whole bunch of stuff like I got that you don't really like. And that's just as simple as that. There are also options of buying or sampling fragrances by buying them from decant shops or places like Lucky Scent or Scent Split that offer those fragrances in smaller samples where you can try and test them out before committing to a full bottle. I highly recommend. Okay, so my next piece of advice would be, consider the source. I know we all have YouTubers that we like and that we gravitate towards and we believe. Some of you all believe everything they say no matter what. And I get that. Some of them you've been riding with from the beginning, but understand people change and people's motives change. And so, unfortunately, I mean, it's just the way of the world. When money is involved, people can get a little shifty. And I mean, some people are influenced by that. And I think it's unreasonable to believe that everybody will completely stay genuine, that they don't have a price. Not everybody is like that. And everybody wants you to believe that they are that way. Everybody is not trustworthy. I mean, look at the world that we live in. I'm just saying, y'all, everybody is out to make a dollar at the end of the day. Most people are, at least I'll say. Not everybody is, but most people are out to make money at the end of the day. So do not believe that some people will not be swayed, because when the price is right, people will change up. People will switch up. They can and they will. Believe me. And we have all seen that in our day-to-day lives. So please do not exempt these people because you feel like you know them on social media. It is my recommendation that you recognize the patterns. I would say lean more into what you see someone do versus what you hear them say. If their actions do not align with the words that they say, you can form your own conclusion. I'm not going to go too deep into it. I said what I needed to say on that. Y'all just be smart. Do what works best for you. Just because a YouTuber or even I say that you need it, which most of the time I try not to say stuff like that because you don't need any of this, but just because we say that it's the best thing since sliced bread does not mean you need a new piece of bread. Your wheat bread is just fine over there. You guys, what you have works just fine. Shop your own collection. That's the next part I was going to say. You guys, if you get to a point like I am and you guys feel like you just have too much, shop your own collection. What do you have that you have previously loved? Do you still love it? If you don't, y'all get rid of it. Whether you're giving it away, whether you're selling it, I don't care which one you do. I don't feel it unethical if you sell your stuff. You can sell it. Somebody else will have it and they will make a happy home for it. Whatever you do, don't just sit and hold on to things that are just collecting dust and taking up space. Something about it, at least in my opinion and in my experience, has caused me a great deal of stress just having things around. And I feel like you can breathe a little bit better when you don't have things out of place in your home and you have things decent and in order. Again, I'm not perfect. This is something that I had to work on. So I just want to share my knowledge with you. Next thing, don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. I've already touched on this, so we're not going to spend too much time on it. But again, people are incentivized. People have reasons to believe the way they feel. Not everyone is like that, but some people are, and you need to be aware of that. People aren't here to be your friends. They are here to make a dollar. This is a business. For some people, they have made it that. You may have found that some people in the beginning were very relatable and they always responded to their comments and and don't get me wrong, y'all, certain people are not ever going to be able to respond to all the comments that y'all leave. Like, I'm just saying. But just understand the people that are in touch with their audience, the people who actually take the time out to consider what is being said, and they are pushing these fragrances on you and telling you what you need to buy, the least they could do is answer certain questions. That's just my opinion. Not everybody's going to do it. It's not a back and forth. This is just what I'm saying. Not saying that they won't ever get to a point where they can't do it right away, but to have full videos and not even the first few comments, not one of them got a heart or anything, I'm gonna move on. Consider the source, you guys, of who's telling you what, and just consider where you are in life. Where they are may not be where you are. So just because they're telling you you need this $200, $300 fragrance, no, you don't, ma'am. If that is not in your budget, it is not in your budget. Do not let anybody make you feel bad about that. And do not believe the hype. It is not always all it's cracked up to be. Moving on. We're going to tap back into quality over quantity. So earlier on in my fragrance buying journey, I would get things, like I said, cheaper, get more of it. We've done a lot of that with the Middle Eastern fragrances. I've recently tapped into that. Now, there are some Middle Eastern fragrances and cheapies as well that I love and will always repurchase. There are also some that I will even buy the original fragrance or whatever if it's a dupe or something like that. But y'all, ain't nothing wrong with a good cheapie. And there's nothing wrong with a Middle Eastern alternative to the fragrance that you may have wanted initially. I would say to use it as a stepping stone. Like, let's say you wanted an expensive fragrance, it's like $300, but there is a dupe available that you can get for $20. Sure, go ahead and get it. But don't make a habit out of buying a whole bunch of fragrances at a cheaper price and then expecting them to be, you know, the best that you ever had. Like, that's just unrealistic. And I don't think you should assume that because the price is high, that the value and the quality of the fragrance will also be high. That is not always the case, and I understand that. You need to keep that in mind. You don't want to get into a place where you are just buying it just because it's cheap. Because after buying so many cheap ones, you will find eventually maybe you could have just held out for the original fragrance. Now, I'm not saying don't still get the dupe. You can get the dupe if you want to. Personally, I'll get the dupe and I'll buy the real thing if I want to. And sometimes I use the dupe as a way to guide me or tell me if I'm even going to like that fragrance, or if it's really something I like as much as I thought I would. But I'm just saying, in certain senses, if you really, really love that fragrance, sometimes, like, if it's $300 something, then that's different. But if it's literally like $150 and the dupe is $50, maybe save up a couple of checks or just hold off or sacrifice something else and just get the actual fragrance, depending on if that's something you feel like you're going to run through, or maybe get the one and then save up to get the other. I wouldn't sit and complain about the longevity and performance and all those things and you only paid $40 for it, depending on what it is. That's just my thoughts, y'all. You get sometimes what you pay for, and sometimes you get some trash in a pretty bottle. There, I said it. Once you know what you like, you decided on what you want, go ahead and start purchasing your fragrances. My main tip would be to shop around. People are going to push links on you. That's the world of YouTube, period. And there's nothing wrong with the links if that's what they want to do, but I'm just letting you know. Make sure that you shop around. Most of the fragrances that I have that make up the bulk of my collection were purchased on gray market sites. They weren't purchased at Sephora and your Ultas and your Macy's. Some were, and I get that. If you're one of those people who only like to shop at those places, then to each his own. However, if you're someone who doesn't mind a bargain and a deal, I do recommend you do your research. But places like Joma Shop, FragranceNet.com, Fragrance X, places of the sort, you guys, there is plenty of information out on YouTube and on the internet in general. Just do your research and, you know, be careful. That's all I can say. But if you care to get a deal and you know what you want, you already know you like it, I would say to shop around and try to get you a deal. You don't always have to pay full price for everything, and most people don't. And then, by the way, you guys, sometimes when you are shopping Sephora and Ulta, y'all, there is such an upcharge. We are cutting out that middleman, and literally you are getting some of these fragrances for like half the price of what you may have paid at a Sephora or Ulta. So you shop responsibly, you make your own informed decision, but I just wanted to put that out there because there were fragrances that I have that I would have thought, and if you had shopped through the links that the people gave you through Sephora and Ulta, you might be paying $120 where you could have got the fragrance for $75 just by shopping on your own and doing your own research and getting it from, you know, whatever site. So that's just an example. But you support who you want to support, do what you want to do, just trying to give you options. Another tip that I have is to shop out of season. So now that we're coming on into summer, I would say this is a good time for you to get those fragrances that you are wanting next year. If you already know, and I do recommend that you write these down. Write down the scents that you want, you guys, so that you are aware of what you're going to be bringing into your collection and that you don't go over and above what's needed, because that's the problem. One of the problems is that you go on here shopping, you watch one video and then, oh, they said this one too, you add it on to the list. Y'all, make a list, try these fragrances out. That way you know what you're getting into before you buy it and you're not left with a whole bunch that you don't like. You still might end up not liking something down the line because after a bunch of wear tests, sometimes it just happens like that. And then sometimes you change your mind, your nose changes and things of the sort. However, we're just trying to reduce the amount of waste and unnecessary spending ultimately. So yeah, I shop out of season, you guys. So like it's spring and summer right now, or at least before my no buy, I was purchasing fragrances for the winter and the fall that I find that are on sale and they're marked down. That's what I recommend that you do, because it's quality over quantity, you guys. I will preach that always. It's not about how many you have. It's about the quality of what you have, and do you love what you have? Can you literally reach blindfolded for anything in your collection and say, I'm happy with that? That's what my goal was. Y'all, my ultimate goal with this blind buy not only is to save money and to put my money in a different direction, because I got some other things I need to focus on at this moment, and fragrance has completely taken over my life. Nah, seriously, I had to chill. But on top of that, I got a lot of clutter, and I find that with releasing it has released a lot of stress, and my mental health and my peace is so important to me at this point. I'll do anything to get rid of it. Anything that needs to go. You get what I'm saying? On top of that, I had so much that I didn't love. Thought it would be nice, but it's okay. But y'all, I'm trying to curate my collection. When I say curate, I mean I am trying to make it a representation of me. I want to be able to have whatever I need for whatever occasion in my collection already, whether it's old, new, anywhere in between. My last and final point, and to me might be one of the most important, although many people may not think so, your fragrance collection and the things that you buy need to match your lifestyle and who you are as a person. Literally, it needs to represent you. All of what you have, what you wear, what you do, it's a reflection of you and your personality. For lack of better words, y'all, I'm gonna put it plain. You're not living a rich girl lifestyle. Why do you need all of these rich girl fragrances? If you don't work out, why do you have all these gym scents? If you're a person who pretty much goes to work and come home, then maybe a bunch of going to work scents will make sense for you. If you're a person who go out every Friday night, like clockwork, then you probably will want a lot of those dark, deep, seductive, going out type of scents. That makes sense for you. But if you're not one like that, and trust me, y'all, this is so me. I'm speaking to you guys and I'm talking to me as well. I had to learn this. I am not the type to go out. I don't do much. I'll do brunch. I'll do daytime events. I'll step out. I love to shop, so that's all me. And I run errands because I have a young son. Y'all, I'm a get up and go type of girl. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll dress up, but I don't do that all the time. It's so rare. I had to check myself with that with buying clothes, because I had nothing to wear for get up and go, but I had everything to wear to step out, and I never step out. So I just wanted to put it all in perspective for you guys. I'm a get up and go type of girl. So I love me a good on a Saturday, a good clean, fresh scent, maybe a nice light floral. I don't mind a Boss Babe scent. I have one, I have several, but I am trying to minimize on all of that because it's unnecessary, and I have bought in excess, and that money could have been used elsewhere, and I admit it. In conclusion, my last point that I hit on, that is not really a bullet point, but I'm just wanting you guys to know, if you are not a YouTuber, and even if you are, y'all, it is not normal to have a collection amassed as large as some of these people have, and even myself. I recently did inventory. If you need to know if you need to go on a no buy, and you know yourself better than anybody else, but we all understand that this is not a need. This is a want. This is a luxury. People don't need fragrance like you need food and water or air to breathe. You don't need it. So this is a luxury, you guys. If your needs are not being met, you don't need this. Simple as that. I'm curating my collection to fit me and to lessen not only my spending, but my desire to have things to make up for whatever it is that I am lacking inside, that is making me crave for the need to have things in excess. And that's something I have to deal with within myself. And you have to figure out what it is as well that you may be possibly lacking and making up for with purchasing all of these things, whether it be fragrance, makeup, jewelry, clothes, designer bags, whatever it is. The goal is to look on the inside and to change ourselves from the inside out. You want the inside to be reflected on the outside, and with that, it's just no need for all this excess, y'all. So if you were wondering why I was doing my no buy, this is why. And for those who are trying to build their collection, you know, I hope there was some tips in here that you guys can take with you for this and for life. I think I gave a few gems, and I wish I had seen a video or ran across a video like this before I started. So if I could go back and change it, I would. If I could get my collection down to a number, a comfortable number, I would say 35. I would have a lot of work to do. I don't want more than 50 for sure.
There's just one thing that I do want to add to this video, and that is that you are not required to subscribe to all of these channels, even my own. And I want all my subscribers to stay. I love y'all, I appreciate y'all, and I want you to stick around. However, if anyone is a trigger for you, if you find that you spend more by watching their videos all the time, y'all feel free to hit the unsubscribe. I mean, you have to do what you have to do, and if it's messing with your mental health to constantly see people posting certain things or pressing you to buy all the time, sometimes you got to unsubscribe. I've done it myself. I've had to unsubscribe from many YouTubers that I really do enjoy, but if I find that I can't constantly see that kind of content on the regular, especially because I'm a content creator, I don't want to find myself mimicking what they do or what they say or their thoughts. So I understand that, completely resonate with it.
Well, that's it for this video, you guys. Enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.